Tariffs are in the news all the time right now, but who actually pays those tariffs? Instead of giving you the big economic mumbo jumbo about what's going on here, I'm gonna go to an actual businessman who imports e-bikes from China. So I am here with my friend Kyle.
Hello.
He has actually got his own YouTube channel. It's called Bolton Ebikes, right?
Yes, it is.
These tariffs have been significantly affecting like the electronic vehicle market, right?
Yeah, electric bikes and electric motors, anything like that are being named specifically as things that have a tariff put on them.
We're going to use his actual experience with tariffs to help us understand who pays for these tariffs. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how tariffs are affecting you personally. Hi, I'm Craig and welcome to Market Power, where we look at the power of markets and economics to shape our world. And once you understand that power, you're going to understand the consequences of the choices we make, which will give you the power to make meaningful change in your community and in your personal life. Tariffs are one of these economic powerhouses that are coming in and affecting our world today. A tariff, simply explained, is just a tax that you pay for importing something from another country into your country. But the question is, who is paying that tax? That's why I'm talking to my friend Kyle at Bolton Ebikes, so that way we can figure out who is paying for these tariffs. Now, if you were to ask an accountant who pays for the tariff, the very simple answer is going to be Kyle, the person who imports those things.
I have a container that is literally on the water right now full of Bolton electric bikes. I'm gonna get a big bill soon for the tariff that happens on those.
While Kyle knows a lot about e-bikes and has an awesome YouTube channel, he doesn't have any training in economics.
I think there's still a lot of confusion about it, which is a good reason to see what this video is and what the guy behind the camera says, because I'm still trying to figure out how this is all gonna work.
Even though Kyle has no economics training, he behaves exactly like an economist predicts. And let's look at the 3 things he told me about how he and other bike manufacturers are responding to these tariffs. First, before these tariffs even happened, Kyle had already changed his behavior.
For me, one thing I was kind of looking ahead a little bit and watching the talk about the tariffs and if they would happen. And so I tried to kind of hedge a little bit and in hopes that I could eat that cost when it came up.
One of the things I really liked about Kyle's answer was that he understands people have an expectation of what the price is supposed to be, and fluctuations in the price are going to make them upset. So he increases that price to incorporate the tariff before it even happens to make sure there's a stable price. So what Kyle is doing is sharing the cost of the tariff between himself and the consumer. So he has to pay a little bit more in cost for the bike, and the consumer pays a slightly higher price. And so both of them pay. The second observation he made, I just got giddy about because it shows how powerful economics is in shaping our world.
I've seen a few manufacturers, I won't name any names, but they've changed some features on an e-bike and called it an upgrade, which if you're familiar with the manufacturers of the components, you'd actually see it's a slight downgrade, and they did that to save on cost and to help eat the cost of the tariffs.
His response brought me back to a restaurant I ate at when I was an undergrad. I'm standing at the cash register getting my food. There's soups and salads, and with every meal they give you a chocolate covered strawberry, and I am excited for that chocolate covered strawberry. I get it, and I realize that this strawberry has been cut in half. I only have half a chocolate dipped strawberry with my meal, but it's the same price as the last time I went there. So they reduced the amount of food that I'm getting and charge me the same price. The same thing is happening with these bikes. They're giving you a lower quality product at the same nominal price, which means you're paying more for lower quality. You, the e-bike consumer, are paying for that tariff. It's not just the e-bike supplier. You have to pay for that tariff. His third observation also got me excited because it is, again, perfectly in line with what we expect from economics.
I've seen some e-bike companies that raise the prices, say $200, and then after a few months they decided, hey, this is actually hurting our sales, and then they went back down. I think that probably only applies to e-bike companies that are really focused on a price-driven marketing strategy where they're trying to stay under a certain price point. You know, say if you want to be under $1,000 or under $1,500 or under $2,000 and you raise it over one of those bumps, then people take notice. And I think they start looking around at other brands and seeing what the other options are.
If your decision is heavily influenced by the price, we would call you price sensitive. And we know from drawing supply and demand curves that in markets where consumers are price sensitive, the firm, the supplier, the business is going to pay more of the tariff than the consumer. And that's what Kyle just said. Those e-bike stores that are targeting price sensitive customers, they have to pay the entire amount of the tariff. They're not allowed to change their prices, otherwise they lose their business. This is a perfect prediction from economics. I just love it. These kind of things just get me so excited. So who actually pays the tariff? We've learned that it's the store and the buyer who are paying for the tariff, and how they split it depends on how price sensitive the buyer is. What about China? Does China pay for any of this tariff? Not directly. The effect on China is that now that e-bike prices are higher, we don't import as many e-bikes, we don't buy as many from China, and therefore they lose out. So we have to pay higher prices for our e-bikes to hurt China. So how does this affect you personally? Well, tariffs are a big political issue right now, and it's not even limited to one party. And it's up to you to decide whether the costs of this are worth the benefits. I did another video with Kyle on his channel, so keep an eye out for that one. But just like Kyle didn't have any economic training and behaves just like an economist, my 7-year-old son did the same thing. No economic training, behaved just like an economist. Check that video out too, because I think it's super interesting. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.